Welcome. Today we're gonna be talking about scientists find new evidence of hidden ocean worlds in our solar system. So this in itself is very interesting, just due to the fact that somebody I guess has a brain and realizes that just because it's a rock on the surface doesn't mean that it holds no water. Essentially they calling this hoe a stealth underground ocean. I don't understand why they don't have the equipment to detect water. Just like how you told me you had a certain machine, right, that you point at exoplanets because the chlorophyll releases a certain wave in a certain nanometer that you can detect, right? So when the chlorophyll puts out that wave that you can now detect with your whatever machine you got, you're able to find life. You only want to point it at exoplanets like a silly nigga. Why? That's silly nigga shit. You believe that's why it's taking you so long to tell a nigga that, hey, some of these planets that just have a surface, like a straight icy surface, probably got an ocean underneath. How is it now you want to tell a nigga how is it being heated? Now you gotta answer other questions because I thought it was supposed to be hella cold back there. Is it tidal forcing? Like, is that what's causing the... No. So the thing that's interesting about Mimas, right? Mima gets torched. Like, absolutely torched with radioactive material on a day-to-day basis, every second of the day. Mima is very close to Saturn. So essentially, it's in a place where it's very susceptible to Saturn's ionosphere and magnetic forces. And Saturn's a very, very big object. Saturn, hey, Shaitan, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because, that's Saturn is the definition, like I say. Saturn is the definition of a frequency. Now, mind you, obviously, a lot of other planets have some form of odd geometric patterning to them, but the fact that my nigga got listen to me, an octagon on its head. That's not, bro. They say that it has shepherd moons that help it formulate and create its rings, but there are also certain places like Uranus. Actually, Neptune is a really good example that has rings that they are wondering how the fuck Neptune's rings, because some of the rings don't. It's the same thing with Saturn. Some of the rings don't have shepherd moons. So what is making these rings stay in such a... That's a... I don't even know what you want to call such a pattern. Like, it's just too structured. Like, there's got to be a force behind that, whether it be Saturn's emitting some type of sound. Hey, that's a topic for another day before I make this hoe. But essentially, it's really important because you telling me about this underground moon now. Back to Mima's. Mima gets, I'm talking everyday particles. It goes through ionizations, it goes through excitations, it goes through particle collisions, it goes through secondary productions, it goes through something called a Bremsstrahlung photon emission process. Like, it goes through so many different, they even see, like, one reason why they can tell, let's say, Neptune, the reason why they tell Neptune's rings is pretty new is because of something called a radiation darkening. So apparently when radiation constantly hits you, your material starts to wear, and it kind of shows over time. Now that's the same thing that's happening to Mimas due to Saturn being absolutely, I don't know if it's being that mean on the nigga, because essentially if you ask me, he got life, she got life, you know what I'm saying? The planet has life, so I don't know if you being that tough on the nigga too. The nigga got life. So, and then it's just real interesting because so much radiation. Like, you gotta understand, radiation is another form. Like, it creates other. It almost makes. It definitely stretches possibilities. Like, essentially, when radiation, let's say, there's something called structured water. Now, this structured water, when it's hit with a certain radiation, it becomes more structured. It can change its structure. Radiation could come in different forms. Like, it could come in light. It can come in electromagnetic, which essentially is like, it could come in like a rock form of radiation. There's different forms of radiation that can be pronounced, and something like this, Mimas, like they say, the thinning of the surface of meat, like the surface of Mimas is thinning. Now I'm asking you, is it thinning because it's getting smacked with Saturn's belts, its ionic belts? Is that why it's thinning? The ice, what do they call it? The ice shell. Is that why the ice shell is thinning? Is it because we're moving into this thing? Hey, let me not. Is it because there's some form of heating happening throughout the solar system? Is that why the thinning of, see what I'm saying? I mean, and it's even crazy in itself because, like I say, if it's all the way back there, what's causing this water to stay in a liquid form? There's some type of heat. Is this heat? We do know that when photons decay and when certain particles decay, they cause certain heat. We know that tidal forces cause heat. We know, bro, there's so many things. Like, if even you haven't, depending on how much carbon dioxide to water vapor that it has in its atmosphere, we can tell if it has heat, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, there's so many things that can give you heat, that not just, even if you 10 trillion miles away from the sun, like, you can still be some form of habitable. Whether it's just only strictly to microbials, whether it's strictly bacteria, whatever it is, you contain life. Life is life. Sorry, you see what I'm saying? But it's just kind of silly to me that y'all niggas, like I say, don't have some ground penetrating radar that detects water. Like, I know y'all do, y'all just don't want to, but it's whatever, bro. Essentially, I'ma just name you just a few moons that have water for sure. On just from Jupiter, you got Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, Io got cryovolcanoes. It's weird. I don't know. Io might have two forms of volcanoes. I'm not even gonna. It might have normal magma volcanoes and cryovolcanoes. I'm not even gonna, because but I haven't seen I haven't seen anything on water on Io. I wouldn't be surprised if it had it somewhere, but essentially nah. But again, Mimas is very interesting in itself, just because I mean, you're getting hit with so much radiation. Your components have to be different from us at least, because we just get, I mean, bro, if Jupiter gets like 5% of the sunlight damn near that we get, or somewhere around that, what the fuck do you think Mima gets? Like, on a serious level, like, so there has to be other forces that are, you know what I'm saying, at hand. Now, this is cool because now you can look at other planets that are straight rock face, see what I'm saying? And now you can make new assumptions. But essentially, it's, like I say again, it's pretty sad that niggas gotta come to this conclusion in 2023. It's very, very sad, nigga. Saturn itself, Enceladus. You could look at Enceladus. You can give me, nigga, you can draw a picture of Enceladus, and I'ma tell you that motherfucker got life on it. Like, that's how nice Enceladus is. Nigga, Titan, same shit. Like, methane lakes. Okay, I don't drink that shit, but I know I know microbes on Yellowstone that they just found. No, I'm not even gonna. There's so much life in extreme environments, just like how in Antarctica they found untapped life. They found a whole ecosystem swimming under ice. A whole ecosystem, untouched. Some of the water in Antarctica is so clean, nigga, untouched. Bro, you think niggas is littering over there doing all that extra shit? Antarctica, bro, you can't do all that. Nigga, They got certain. Listen, Antarctica, boy, you better stay with a baggie on you, nigga. You can't, nigga, you can't spit. Nigga, all that shit is nice, nigga. It's just certain, that's how you take care of certain places, like, y'all niggas over here just do whatever, but yeah, it's crazy. Again, the life is probably radioactive. I'd assume that they're composed of something that, even here on Earth, there's certain life that lives in radioactive spaces, that their pigments help them sustain in them spaces. What's that thing called? Allobacteria? Do your research. Stuff like that, you gotta understand. You gotta, even the same thing with the great oxygenation that happened here on Earth, like, from organisms turning, apparently organisms were non-photosynthetic, which is, how are you non-photochemical? Like, nigga, the sun has always been here. How the fuck is you not gonna be accustomed to that? Like, that shit don't even make sense to me. But hey, essentially, I guess the bacteria had to grow certain, which it does. If the bacteria itself is never been exposed to sunlight, it shouldn't have to grow a defense. It shouldn't have to. You see what I'm saying? Like, but hey, variables matter. There's a lot of things that go into it. This is just a little interesting story. Hopefully pull something out of it. Saturn's moons are very interesting. Mima's just one of the, Mima, Rhea, just one of the few beautiful Saturn. Saturn has 82 moons. Now, what they feel like a moon is, you could be like a mile long and be a moon. That's these niggas. My look at a moon is different, but essentially, hey, that's what a moon is. That's why Jupiter's got 100 million moons. But nah, it's cool. I'ma hopefully get y'all niggas in the next one. The last thing I wanted to touch on with the water vapor. So you got plants, right? This is kind of why water vapor is really important, because plants also emit water vapor. When they consume carbon dioxide, there's certain microscopic like pores called, I think it's stomata. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think it's like a stomata. And it helps with transpiration. I think that's transpiration, which is another form pretty much that water vapor is able to form through not only just the water cycle. So plants also have a say in the water cycle. Plants can cloud seed. That's why a lot of these things are important. When they say water vapor's on the planet, it's not just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just gas in the air type shit. Like, it could also mean that there are biological processes that are creating, you see what I'm saying, the space in which you can have that. I don't personally, I say point it everywhere. That's me. that's how I'm stand on this shit. Whether it be the chlorophyll machine, point it everywhere. Water machine, point it everywhere. That's why y'all dumbass niggas, like I think I might have told Saturn, y'all just found its ring. See what I'm saying? Y'all found a new ring on Saturn. How the fuck is the new ring, the newest ring that you find on Saturn, the biggest ring of Saturn, right? How the fuck is it the biggest ring? And how the fuck is it 300 times the size of Saturn? So you put 300 Saturns next to each other on a diameter scale. 300, you could only see it in infrared. But you know what y'all niggas do? Y'all like to point infrared at the sun. Oh yeah, we like to point, like y'all point infrared out into space just to see 100 million stars at one time. Like, do that shit in your motherfucking neighborhood. Then start doing that like, y'all skip so many steps, but hey, we already know y'all super far. Y'all don't really gotta, you see what I'm saying? Like, we already know this. Like, y'all so advanced. Like, it don't even matter what y'all give us. Like, essentially, like, in a sense, if you get me. But hey, this is another. Now, I mean, we already know Mars has water. We know. Look, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna do a video later on water in this solar system. The amount of water in the solar system is pretty mind-boggling, but hey, these niggas are just figuring that out. But hey, I'm gonna let y'all niggas, you know what I'm saying, do what y'all do. Appreciate y'all watching. If you fucked with the video, leave a like, do what you do. Actually, nah, I'm gonna see y'all niggas.